So it's 9:30. I think we will begin now. So welcome everyone, and I hope you're doing as well as can be. I'm Brandy Falcon, and I'm going to be teaching more of a slow flow, more sensual, feel good, stretchy practice today. So I hope that is welcome. I feel like I've been going to the other side a lot lately. Um, but I'm just wanting to get into the juiciness of the practice where we're going to be spending a lot of time just stretching out. So we're going to start in a simple cross-leg pose. It doesn't matter which leg is in front. If your hips happen to be more open, then you can have one heel in front of the other. And we'll take some time to center our attention here. So after you align the torso up over the hips, feeling that there is this balanced plumb line from the tail to the crown of the head. And we can let our mind go in to focus on the movement of the breath. So right now we're just watching the breath as it's moving naturally. It's interesting that as you place your attention on it, it usually wants to deepen and lengthen out. And then feel the breath moving in the body. Which places feel freed up. They already have enough juice, blood and energy, and which need a bit more attention here today. And notice what you're feeling in the heart space. What emotion is most on the surface? Notice how focused the mind is. And we'll bring our hands together in front of the heart to make an intention for your practice. So when you ask yourself, why am I here? What comes up for you? Why are you taking time out of your day to do this practice? What are you hoping to achieve from this practice? So these seeds of intention are what makes this practice transformational. Especially when you can bring intention out into other activities. We're not running on autopilot, repeating the same habits over and over again that may or may not serve us and others. Okay, and when you feel complete with this, we're simply going to bring the hands down and then walk them forward, so bending the torso at the hip crease. Letting the forearms come down, the head can drape down. And feel the breath moving in the back body. And then with your next in-breath, we'll walk the hands in, come to sit up, and we'll switch the cross of the legs, bringing the other in front. you're going to bring the arms up. You can interlace the fingers. Push the palms forward, and then we'll send the arms up. So the palms are reaching toward the ceiling as your shoulder blades are moving down. Our lower ribs stay in toward the groin. We're still very rooted in our tail, in our sit bones. You can close your eyes again. And as you inhale, send the breath all the way down to the pelvic floor for about 4 or 5 seconds. And then see if you can match that length with the exhalation. And there's a slight suctioning up at the pelvic floor. Just a bit of an energetic pull there. You feel it moving up to the crown of the head. So a few more cycles of breathing where you can constrict the throat slightly. Making a whispering sound with the breath. And this even breathing is called samavriti, equal fluctuation. Referring to the fluctuations of the mind, so it's a way to keep the mind occupied here and fully present, fully open to what you are feeling. Okay, one more in-breath here, down into the hips. And then as you exhale, we'll bring the fingertips to the shoulders. Letting the elbows be heavy, arms heavy with the hips. And then we'll just make our little chicken wing circles here in one direction. And then the other. And we'll bring the hands down. And again, we'll walk them forward, bending at the hip crease. And now samavriti, equal fluctuation of the breath, constricting the throat slightly as you're feeling it more in the back body. Making space in between the vertebrae, in between the ribs. And down into the hip joints. And then with your next in-breath, we'll walk the hands in. Let's come off of our prop if you're sitting on a cushion or blanket. We're going to move over to the side. Now, most of the class is going to be slow, sensual, stretchy, all feel good. But we are going to do a little bit of strength. So we'll hold on underneath the knees, or behind the knees. Recline back until you feel your abdominal muscles engage. And we'll bring the lower legs parallel with the floor. So you may want to keep the knees bent here, because we are going to move dynamically. That as you exhale, we're going to bring the knees closer to the chest, chest closer to the knees. And then as you inhale, recline back again. Twice more, exhaling closer in toward the knees. Inhale, stretching back. Just once more. And then we'll bring the feet down, and let's bring the hands behind. We'll have the fingertips pointed toward the feet, and then we'll open the chest away. So you're squeezing in between the shoulder blades to open the chest here. And then if you can, we're going to bring the hips up with the in-breath and back down as you exhale. Reach back up, inhaling. Exhale, coming down. So just once more like this. Inhaling up. Exhale down. And now we're going to bring the hips all the way down, legs stretch out. We'll inhale, reaching up with the torso and arms. And exhale, fold at the front of the hips. With your in-breath, we'll stretch back up. Dandasana, staff pose. Exhale, bring the hands behind you. We'll plant the feet as you bend the knees. Inhale, lifting hips. Your head can recline back if that feels safe. Exhale, bringing the hips back down. Inhale, reaching the legs out, stretching arms and torso up. Exhale, fold over the legs. And inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands back, plant the feet. Inhale, lifting hips. Exhale, hips back down. And now we're going to cross the feet, and we'll come into hands and knees here, with the wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And let's just come into downward dog from here. So tucking toes under, we'll lift the knees away from the floor, weighted at the base of the fingers. Deep fold at the front of the hips like we found in our Navasana boat pose. And then see if you can maintain that connection as you stretch your chest toward the knees, lengthening out the arms, lengthening out the spine. And then you can bring the heels closer toward the floor. And do whatever feels good here. This first time in downward dog. You can move the spine in a wave. You can walk out the feet. And now let's open up the feet about the width of the mat. And see if you could send your chest down even more toward that space in between the feet. And then we're going to walk the hands back. Walk them back, bending the knees so the knees stay over the ankles. We'll come as flat with the back as possible, parallel to the floor with your spine, with your thighs. You can keep the arms stretched out forward on your fingertips here. Just one more breath here in this leg strengthening squat. And then we'll come forward again into downward dog. Lifting hips with our feet hip joint width apart. And then we'll come up to the front edge of the mat. So walking the feet forward. You may want to have your blocks here under your hands now. So we're going to have the hands under the shoulders as you stretch the spine out. And of course you can have the hands on the floor if they can reach. And let's bend the right knee. And then we'll, as you keep your right hand on the block or floor, our left hand comes up to the sacrum. We'll lead up with the elbow, up with the shoulder, twisting the torso. And if your shoulder is way up, then we can reach the arm up without this feeling pinchy in the shoulder and neck. And we can turn the head up if that feels good. Or it could stay with your gaze looking straight ahead or down. And then we'll come out of the twist as you exhale. Bringing your left hand to the block or floor. We'll bend the left knee. Right hand comes back to the sacrum. Lead up with the elbow and shoulder, twisting the torso. And stretch the arm up. Keep the neck lengthening. Again, doing what feels good with the turn of the head. And then we'll slowly bring that right arm down. Okay, we're going to roll up to stand here. We'll roll the shoulders up, back, and down once you're upright. And then we're going to open up the feet about the width of the mat again, this time as we're standing. And we're going to come back down to bend the knees, this time with our hands to the thighs. So it's standing cat-cow pose here. As you exhale, we're going to round the spine, so flexing the spine. And as you inhale, it's like our cow pose where we lift the chest, we lift the tail, we're in a back bend here, extension. And then just twice more, exhaling, cat pose. Inhaling, cow. And once more like this, exhaling, cat. Inhaling, cow. And then we're going to come down lower here. So feet still about the width of the mat. So it's like a wide Utkatasana, our chair pose. We'll have the arms stretched forward. And then as you inhale, we're going to open up the arms out to the sides, opening the chest, and exhale the arms forward, feeling the ribs move in toward the groin. Just twice more like this, inhaling, open. So I'm keeping the palms facing forward. We often do this with the palms turned back, but today I just want to focus on opening the chest more. Okay, once more, opening as you inhale. Exhale, arms forward. And then inhale, hands to the floor. We'll straighten the knees, hip joint width apart with the feet. And exhale, fold down over the feet here in Uttanasana. And you may want to cross the forearms. So this brings more weight down through the arms to traction out the spine. And it may feel good to sway side to side or turn side to side with the torso here. I've just got a few cracks and pops. You may feel or hear the same. And then releasing the arms down. We'll again round up, unless it feels safer to come up with a flat back for you. And in that case, arms can move out to the side or to the sacrum to rise up. And we'll stand with the feet hip joint width apart or together. We'll bring our hands together in front of the heart, remembering your intention here. Why are you here? What do you hope to grow from this practice? And then on an in-breath, we'll circle the arms up. Exhale, folding down. Let's come halfway up as you inhale. And exhale, right leg back in a lunge. We're going to lower the knee. Let's bring the top of the foot down, that back foot. And we'll bring the torso and arms up as you inhale. Now, as you exhale, we'll bring the arms forward, turn the palms up, and bring the knee in a bit. So you're standing more upright with the torso. And then as you inhale, bring the hips forward again and stretch the arms up. So twice more like this. Arms move forward as we exhale. Our arms move in, our ribs move in. And then inhale, reaching back up. Do this once more, exhaling, pulling in. Inhale up. And then left hand to your thigh, or it could come to a block or the floor on the side. On the left side of the body, we're going to side bend to the left. Few breaths here. Down through that right side, which is opening. And then we'll come up on an in-breath. And let's bring both hands down as you exhale. And bring the hips back. And we'll curl the left toes up, folding over the leg here. And then we'll pulse here with the breath. So as you inhale, we'll come up with the torso, stretch the spine out, and then exhale, fold again. Twice more, inhaling up with the wave of the spine. Exhale, fold. Once more. Then we'll plant the foot, inhaling. We'll curl the back toes under. Exhale, plank pose, stretching back. Hold here. Feeling your tail moving toward the heels, heels pressing back. Thighs are engaged. Belly is engaged underneath. Chest and crown of the head looking forward. And then we'll bring the knees down. Stretch back, child's pose. And then as you inhale, we're going to move forward to the ground. So bending the elbows, we'll bring the belly and chest down. And then come up into cobra pose from here. Inhaling up. Exhale down. Now we're going to turn the head to the left as we roll up. Centered as we roll down. Over to the right as you come up. Exhale down. Hands and knees as you inhale. Downward dog as you exhale. Stay here for a breath. And then we're going to roll forward. So lifting the heels, rounding the back. Right foot comes through in between the hands. We'll bring the back knee down. Let's bring the torso and arms up, inhaling. And then exhale, hands back down. We're going to come forward here with that back foot. And exhale, fold over the feet. You can roll up or arms out to the sides and up, coming up with the flat back instead. And exhale, hands together at the heart. And then again, we'll circle up with the in-breath. Exhale, fold back down. Halfway up as you inhale. Exhale, left leg behind in a lunge. We'll lower the knee, top of the foot down. Bring the torso and arms up as you inhale. And then as you exhale, arms move straight ahead, palms turn up. And bring the hips in a bit. Then inhale forward again with the hips and arms, stretching back up. Twice more. Exhaling. Inhale deeper and up. Last time. So your tail is moving down, you're tucking the pelvis under. And then it comes forward. Inhale up. And then right hand to the thigh or to a block on the outside of the leg. Left arm up and we side bend to the right. Let the left side of the body stretch open. Okay, next in breath, we'll bring the torso and arm up. Exhale, both hands down. Shift the hips back, right toes curl up. And on an exhalation, we fold down over the leg. And moving the torso like a wave, we come up, inhaling. Reach the chest forward. Exhale, back down. Inhale up, reach forward. Exhale down. Last time. Then we'll bring the foot down. Back toes curl under, plank pose, hold this shape. Pushing the mat out away from you. Forward. Build energy in your center here. And then with your next exhalation, child's pose, we stretch back. Inhale, roll forward to the ground as your elbows and shoulders stay back and up. And then we'll keep the hands here next to the chest. Inhale, coming up, centered. Exhale, roll back down. Look to the right as we inhale up. Exhale, back down. Look to the left, inhaling up. Exhale, back down. Inhale up, hands and knees. Downward dog as you exhale. Stay here for a breath. Then we'll roll forward with the in-breath, bringing the left foot through in between the hands, right knee down. Inhale, torso and arms up. Exhale, folding back down. And then we'll come forward on an in-breath. Exhale, folding down. Arms out to the sides and up, inhaling. Exhale, hands together at the heart. We'll circle back up with your in-breath. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale up with the torso. And this time we're going to walk the feet back, downward dog. You're welcome to insert a vinyasa here. If you want to do chaturanga or knees, chest, and chin, then cobra or upward dog. Or just stay with me, breathing here in downward dog. Letting the body pulse as you breathe. And then from downward dog, we'll say stay strong and grounded on the left side. With your inner left foot grounding. And we'll inhale, right leg up behind. Let it pull the spine. And then as you exhale, knee and foot come forward, back into a lunge. Find your balance here. And then we'll come up into a high runner's lunge. Or crescent. Your tail down. Pelvic floor engaged. And breath moving fluidly. And then we'll bring the hands together at the heart. And we'll keep the left hand here. Our right arm is going to move forward and then open it to the right to come into a twist here. And just one more breath. And we'll bring the right hand down to the thigh. Left foot comes to the floor for warrior two. And then we'll stretch the left arm out. Right arm floats up. One more breath. And then we'll inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, cartwheel the hands down. And then from a lunge here, keeping your ankle under the knee, left hand stays under the shoulder on the floor or block. And we'll bring the right hand up to the thigh to twist. Or you can reach the arm up. And on an exhalation, we'll circle the arm back down. Enjoy the stretch in the neck along the way. And then left foot down again, this time for triangle pose. So we'll keep the right knee straight as we slide the hand up to the ankle, shin, or to a block on the outside of the foot. And we tug the tail under, stacking the left hip on top of the right, and then left arm stretches up. Sideways here. Live in the spaciousness that we're creating. Where are you feeling more freed up? Where is this shape accessing? Okay, and then we'll bring the left arm alongside the ear. To keep the hip back, we feel a long stretch in the waist. And then we'll come back down into a lunge. Plank pose, we stretch back, we'll hold here. Okay, you could do your own vinyasa here, or I'm going to do what we did before, child's pose, stretching back. And then to roll down to the ground. Up into cobra. And back down, moving through child into downward dog. We'll all meet together in downward dog. After this next breath. And then stay strong in your right leg and foot. Inner foot grounding down. The big toe side grounding down. And then left leg floats up. Fill the leg out with your breath. And then as you exhale, knee comes forward, foot comes through. We'll come up in our high runner's lunge once we have our balance. Torso and arms lifting. Back leg very engaged here. And then again, we'll bring the hands down to the heart. Right hand will stay here as our left arm reaches forward and then opens. You're feeling that left shoulder blade dip forward to open the chest here. Keep the back leg engaged, back of the knee filling out. And then we'll bring the left hand to the thigh. Right foot comes down for warrior two. Both arms reach out. Another deep breath. And then reversed warrior as you inhale, reaching back. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Back heel spins up. And then we'll keep the right hand under the shoulder. Left hand can come to the thigh to twist here. or we can reach that left arm all the way up. One more breath. Come down as you exhale. Right foot to the floor again, coming sideways again. This time, open triangle. So we're moving from twists, closed twists to open twists. All very freeing for the spine. Soothing for the nerves. One more in-breath. Now as you exhale, circle the arm back down. Plank pose as you inhale, holding. And then you can move through a vinyasa here. Or again, child's pose like me, stretching back. Rolling forward to the ground. Legs stay engaged here, like one long tail as we come up into cobra. And exhale, roll back down, slow and sensual. Inhale up, hands and knees. And exhale, downward dog, shifting back. Okay, now we're going to open up the feet about the width of the mat again. And this time turning the toes out about 45 degrees. So that as we walk the hands back, it's easier for many of us to come down into a squat. So if this is too deep, you can just stay upright here like we were before with the hands to the thighs. Otherwise, we come all the way down into a squat here with the hands together at the heart. And we're going to pulse here. As you exhale, we're going to round, bringing the head down, folding as deep as possible. And then as you inhale, keep the tail moving down as the torso rises up. So again, exhale, rounding. Inhale, rising up. Last time, exhale, folding more here. Inhale, reaching up. And then we'll exhale, hands to the ground. And we'll bring the hips up, torso hangs down. And we'll walk the hands up the legs to come up to stand. From here, we're going to open up the feet, so wider than the mat. We'll bring the hands to the thighs to come down for a goddess pose, so opening up the legs and hips as much as possible. And then the tail comes down to bring the torso upright. We're going to bring the hands together at the heart. And as you inhale, we'll open the arms up, pressing the palms out. And then exhale, hands back together at the heart. Inhale, opening out, pressing palms out, heels of the hands out. Exhale, gathering back in. And as you gather back in, the belly comes in too. Last time, inhaling out. Exhale, closing. Let's move up with the arms, straighten the legs. We'll turn the toes inward, and then we'll fold at the hips, sliding the hands down the legs, folding in Prasarita Padottanasana. Keep our shoulders away from the floor. The neck has space here to traction out. Okay, and then we're going to walk the hands forward again. We'll find downward dog, narrowing the feet, hip joint width apart. And on an in-breath, let's reach the right leg up behind. Again, let it pull the spine. And exhale, knee and foot forward, coming back into a lunge. Okay, and here we're going to heel toe the foot out to the side to come into gecko pose with our hands inside the foot. So our hands are under the shoulders. And we're actually going to turn the right toes out to the side. So like we were in our squat. And we'll bring the back knee down. Go ahead and let the inner foot come off the ground on that right side. So we're strongly externally rotating the leg in the hip. Some of you can come down lower with the torso, bringing the elbows to the floor. Just another breath here. And then we can stay on our left forearm or on our hand if we're still on the hands here. But our right hand is going to come up into the right hip crease. So I'm actually bringing my thumb into the hip crease and I'm deepening the crease as I'm bringing the torso upright. Oh my goodness, I just got many pops in a row. Turning the chest up to the ceiling, opening your gaze up, letting the neck stretch. Let the shoulder come back. Oop, more pops. Okay, let's bring the hands down. And we'll so let's come onto the hands and knees here, bringing the right leg back. Can move the hips from side to side or circle them in one direction and then the other. And up into downward dog. We're just going to do that on the other side. So left leg lifts when you're ready. Inhaling. Exhale. Foot through in between the hands. Heel toe the foot out to the side, coming into gecko. And then we'll turn the left toes out to the side about 45 degrees. Back knee comes down. We'll let the inner left foot come off the ground, rotating the leg even more in the hip joint. And if there is room, if this is starting to feel neutral, that's when we seek a deeper stretch with the forearms down. Few breaths here. Into the hip joints. And I feel this in the back of the hips too. The junction of the hips and the low back. And we'll stay on the right forearm or come up onto the right hand. Left hand into the hip crease. We'll turn the torso upright. Leaning back slightly. Do what feels good with the head and neck. And we'll unwind from the twist. Bringing the hands back down. Left leg moves back, hands and knees. Again, we can sway the hips from side to side here or make circles. In the other direction if you're making circles. And then downward dog here, stretching up and back. Another deep breath. And then lowering the knees. Bring the tops of the feet to the floor, untucking the toes. We're going to come into a wide child's pose from here, keeping the big toes together. We'll separate the knees as wide as they're willing to go, and we'll bring our hips back toward the heels. We're going to come into a twist here. So we're going to walk or bring some of our weight over to the right, and our left arm is going to thread over to the right. So it's like we're trying to bring our left shoulder over toward the right knee. And then we'll lower the side of the head down. You may want to rest the head on a blanket or block if it's away from the ground. And we'll keep the right hand to the floor with the elbow bent up. And then push away from the hand. So we're leaning more into the back of the left side of the body. And some of you, if this feels neutral, then we're going to bring the right arm up and wrap it around the left hip. We're going to be here for several breaths. So do what you need to here. Should feel like you're getting a deep stretch somewhere. For some of you, it's going to be in the inner thighs. Others along the spine. I'm feeling it more in the thoracic spine and around the shoulder blades. See if you can keep the breath moving. So it's freeing up space from the inside. And then we're living in that space more, enjoying this space. So deeper breaths here. And just one more. And we'll bring the right hand down in front of the face again. And we'll push down through this hand to lift the torso up. And we'll pause through center here. Enjoy the release. And then when you're ready, we'll walk the hands over to the left, threading the right arm through as you bring the back of the shoulder down. Left hand stays to the ground in front of the face. And then we're leaning back into that right shoulder blade. And many of us are going to stay here. Some of us are going to choose to bring the left arm up and wrap it around the right waist. I'm actually not going to do that on this side because I'm getting much more out of it just leaning back into that right shoulder blade. If possible, you're slowing the breath down as you deepen it too. And just 2 more breaths. And then we'll press into the left hand to bring the torso up. Unwind from the twist. Both hands down in front as you're centered. Closed eyes. Notice what's happening with the release here. There's a change of sensation, maybe a change in temperature, maybe a tingling somewhere. we'll bring some weight forward into the hands. We'll narrow the knees and rest back for a moment in child's pose. Your arms can be forward or next to the legs. And then with your next in-breath, we'll walk the hands in if they're forward. Bring them forward if they're back. We'll slowly roll up to sit on the feet here. And then we'll bring the hips to one side, legs come forward. And let's come to lay down on the back. Hands can be to the belly. Deep breaths. And then we'll have the feet so they're hip joint width apart. And we're going to have the elbows in close to the waist with the fingertips pointed up to the ceiling. Let's press down through the backs of the arms to lift the hips and chest away. And then we'll roll onto the outsides of the arms as you squeeze your shoulder blades together, opening up the chest more, stretching the chest to the chin as you keep the neck lengthened out. And if you can keep the chest open here, you can reach for the feet, or you can interlace the fingers underneath you. But again, we don't want the shoulders to roll forward. We need to keep opening out to the sides. Two more breaths, holding bridge. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. And then we'll widen the shoulders, slowly come back down, letting your hands rest on the belly again. And then we can come into bridge, or this time up into shoulder stand. And you're welcome to do this at the wall too. If you have wall space, I can show you. I'm going to come sideways to my wall here. You can bring the legs up the wall with the feet into the wall. And you come up into bridge pose from here, rolling onto the outsides of the arms. And then one at a time, the feet can come up into shoulder stand. And when you're ready to exit, 1 foot at a time back to the wall, rolling out. But we're going to stay for a few more breaths in your bridge or shoulder stand. And if you're in shoulder stand, you can keep your right leg up. So if you're in bridge, go ahead and come back down, and then maybe after resting, you can come up again. Or you could even try a one-legged bridge. But if you're in shoulder stand, we're going to leave the right leg stretching up to the ceiling, and we'll bring the left leg down up overhead. And then as you inhale, we'll bring the leg back up. So with the exhalation, we'll alternate legs, bringing the right leg down up overhead now. Inhale the leg back up. Once more on each side, exhaling left leg down up overhead, like plow pose. Inhale it back up. Let's do one more on each side. Right leg down as you exhale. Inhale back up. Exhale, left leg down. Inhale up. And you know you could do anything you want. So if you want to do a few more on each side, go ahead. And then we're going to roll the legs up overhead. Hold on to the legs. Pull them in toward the body as you roll out of shoulder stand. And if you're coming out of bridge, just bring the hips and feet back down. And we'll do the same as we roll out of shoulder stand. And then we'll bring the hands under the hips to sit on them. And we'll stretch the legs out for fish pose. Sorry, pushing the blocks away and making lots of noise. So legs stretch out. And then we come up onto the forearms for fish pose, Matsyasana. Again, shoulder blades come in underneath the body as close as possible together. And then we slide our buttocks up the arms. Point the toes forward as we bring the head back. Breathing into the front body. We're opening wide. And when you're ready to come out, we're not going to lift the head. We're just going to slide it back. There's not a lot of effort in the neck muscles. Then we'll bring the feet to the floor, bending the knees. Hands come out and back onto the belly. We'll do what we need to here. As you scan your body, notice if there's still a region that might be feeling tight, just less lived in. And you can do whatever feels good before we rest in Shavasana. Could just be windshield wipering the knees, turning the head, there's tension in the neck. Maybe it's happy baby pose if you want to open the hips more. We'll come to lay down for Shavasana, or if you still have that wall space available, you can rest your legs up the wall instead. Settle in. Into the very center of the body. Maybe even creating some distance from the body. Seeing from a different perspective. Looking down from the ceiling. See yourself in perfection here. What you want to see, what you want to grow. Seeing yourself in wholeness. in wellness. Fully protected. And able to experience life joyfully. Come back to our breathing deep in the body. Feeling the sensation of the breath moving all the way out to the surface of the skin. Out to each fingertip and toe tip. We'll wiggle the fingers and toes and rotate the ankles and wrists. And then we can stretch the arms up overhead, reaching the legs out long in front. And then circling the arms down, we'll hug the knees into the chest. Then we can rock side to side, forward and back. And then either rock up to sit or roll over to the side first. And take your time slowly coming back up. Into a seated position again. Opening up your sense organs except for the eyes. We'll stay rooted with our tail, with our sit bones, and with the breath. So we're inhaling down as we reach the arms up now, opening the eyes. We'll exhale, hands together, down in front of the heart. Inhale, opening out, and exhale in and down. Back together at the heart, where we honor the essence within ourselves and within each other. Namaste.